Dozens of giant crossbow bolts were firmly embedded in the city walls. Before the soldiers inside could react, the walls were blown open by a massive explosion. Immediately afterward, a group of men in black pulled out their firearms and opened fire indiscriminately. The guards who rushed to the scene upon hearing the commotion were shot dead before they could react. It turned out the men in black's objective was to rescue Connor, the prisoner held in the dungeon, reportedly sentenced to 80 years for illegally manufacturing weapons. Benny and David intended to interrogate Connor regarding the armory theft. The stolen firearms were his signature flintlocks, but Connor refused to cooperate, taunting them, and even attempting to ambush David. Furious, David, determined to extract the identity of the thieves from Connor, prepared to subject him to the most brutal torture. But at that very moment, the wall behind Connor suddenly exploded. Having disposed of all the guarding soldiers, the men in black charged in, discarding their muskets and drawing swords. Benny and David seized the moment to drag Connor to safety. Yet David, indifferent to his comrade's fate, immediately lowered the iron gate above the passageway, trapping both Benny and the cloaked figures behind him. Seeing David's smug expression, Benny knew it was deliberate, but now was no time for second thoughts. The cloaked figures were already closing in. Wielding two long blades, he locked in a brutal struggle with them. They fought relentlessly for 3 days and nights. By then, the cell was a river of blood, littered with corpses. But severely wounded, he too collapsed unconscious. When Benny awoke, he discovered David had rescued him. Only then did he realize David was in league with yesterday's black-clad men. David threatened Benny, demanding he disguise himself as a performer to assassinate the general in 3 days. It turned out David had stolen the musket to kill the commander-in-chief. But upon discovering Benny's formidable martial arts skills and lack of background, David decided to have him carry out the assassination instead. However, Benny was now gravely wounded, and David threatened his wife. With no other choice, Benny reluctantly agreed. 3 days later, he disguised himself as an opera performer. While the general and his companions watched the show, Benny seized the moment and drew a firearm from his waistband.